Go.
Okay, welcome to Insight from the Godz. We got a special two guests tonight. Brother Ray and his son Chaauncey. We all gonna be tackling stuff about juvenile violence, juvenile crime, prevention, and what we can do to shape our future with our youth going forward. We got a lot of areas to cover. We got a lot of stories to share. So bear with us and ride with us. Sit back. Knowledge. I'm gonna let the guests introduce themselves as we go down the line of knowledge. I got a group called Uncommon Dialogue. For those that don't know, there's also a men's group. There's a community group because women is starting to appear at the group as well. And I don't believe in turning nobody away because we all need some kind of healing, and that's what my group is for. And that's what you're gonna hear from the rest of these guys.
How y'all doing, man? My name is Chaauncey Roman. I got a background in behavior health, workforce development, and mental health services. From Baltimore, Maryland, college graduate from Lakhem University, the first degree grant at HBCU. As long as that, I'm one of the executives with Juvenile Crime Prevention Program, which is the founder right here, and I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself as well.
My name is Raymond Roman. I'm the founder of Juvenile Crime Prevention, but let me first say thank you for the soldiers from Insights from the Godz for welcoming us to this platform. Before we go any further, I appreciate just, being invited to come hang out with y'all, brothers.
I appreciate your presence. Let me add on to that real quick. This meeting to me is kind of monumental because this is our first meeting where we had a father and son together. And I think that speaks to fatherhood. And it also speaks to the unity of your bloodline. When your son reflects the light that the father has instilled in him and vice versa. Because having this offspring is like a two-way street. You just don't learn from the child, but the child also teach the parent how to become a better parent. Since we're talking about juvenile justice and things that concern our children and our young people, we want to always understand that our children are the future, and without them we have no future, and we're heavily vested in them. I run a group called HEAL, which is an acronym for Healing, Elevating, Analyzing, and Learning. And along with Brother Knowledge, we service the community every week or every other week in every way that we can. And I want Brother Ray and Brother Chaauncey to just control their narrative and tell the world their story out of their own mouth and their own experience. And that's why they're here. Peace.
No doubt.
Yeah, that was dope, man.
Don't be shy. The mic is on you, beloved.
That's right.
Oh, man. So, meaning our story just in general, what made us push for juvenile crime prevention. And to be honest, if you guys don't know, my father found juvenile crime prevention in 2011. And I felt like a few years ago, we needed to revamp this program and bring it back, not only because the juvenile that was around, I believe, in his time frame is way different from the guys that's walking around now in these days. I mean, it's to a point now where it's really bad. I would never say it wasn't bad back then, but right now, they need it more than anything. Not only because the politicians, number one, they not on boots on the ground like we are, seeing the dynamics that we really see and seeing the energies that we really see. Instead, they just pushing the kind of, I don't want to say go against them. And sometimes you need people to understand them and be heard. And I think for myself, I'm only 27. I'm kind of closer to their demographic, so it's easier for me to understand some of the things that they're going through and some of the things that they understand. Now, for me personally, I think that my father opens up a different point of view because he was raised in a whole completely different era of time where a lot of the principles that was taught in the streets ain't taught and held up the same as it is now. But it's also, a lot of things was also, I would say personally, it was more cooler in my eyes for someone to decide if they wanted to go the right direction versus the negative direction. And now in these days, everybody's a follower. Everybody want to choose the negative direction. So that's why I told my pops like 2-3 years ago, like, man, this is something I think will be dope that we really should bring back and bring to the forefront. And he was on board with it. And we've been working on it for the last 2-3 years, and now we trying to go around the country with this thing. And his story himself, and our story together is very monumental. And I think once we gets out in the world, they can understand that it's real. It's real energy. It's not no fake. It is not no fakeness, nothing to it. So yeah, I mean, he can speak a little, elaborate on it a little bit more. Like,
Hold on, my bad. So yeah, so this gonna be real tonight because when I came in here, I said to these two brothers, I'm gonna flip the script on them because you know my story is one thing and I'm explaining to y'all, but we need men like these two brothers to share their stories as well. I know my brother said he don't want to make it about him, but we're gonna make it part of him about him tonight. So let me just say who I am and how I created Juvenile Crime Prevention.
Before you go on real quick, Ray, could y'all get closer to y'all mics? YouTube is saying y'all not speaking loud enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the reason I created Juvenile Crime Prevention because I feel like, you know, I got a story to tell and it may help a lot of these kids not do the things that I did, right? So a little bit about me. I grew up in a single family home, untraditionally. My grandmother raised me. My mother was on drugs. My father wasn't there. While he was in the military, wherever he was, I didn't really spend much time with my father throughout my life. So as I was like 15 years old, you know, I started getting out into the streets a little more because I was taking advantage of being with my grandmother. Nobody really overseeing me. And I started, you know, doing the basic things that we do in our neighborhood, smoking weed, you know, starting out what they call a gateway drug, which led me to, you know, using other drugs and stuff like that, then trying to sell drugs in the streets, right? I'm gonna try to fast forward it. But from my experiences of, you know, going from one thing to another, graduating from one drug to another, I ended up getting an 8-year sentence in prison. So fast forward, I did the 4.5 on the 8 years, came home, and you know, that whole prison experience really showed me that I'm a lot more intelligent, and you know, that ain't where you want to be, point blank period, right? So that's why I say these guys, yeah, I'm gonna pull them out tonight for y'all, for real. But so when I came home, I decided to change things and do things from a different perspective. I started, you know, first of all, I worked for Charles Hickey School, because Major Clay, if I can say their names, it's Colonel Singleton and them. Yeah, I guess it's okay to say their names, but
Said already.
yeah, I'm put it out there, right? They kind of saw me as a, you know, good guy coming from Hagerstown, from the old jail to the new jail to boot camp. I was able to, you know, get in boot camp, and that's how I worked my way home after being locked up for a while. So, you know, because I was a decent dude in the joint, they gave me a job at Charles Hickey School to work with kids. So that's how this kind of initiated. You know, I got experience working with kids years ago. So I ended up leaving Charles Hickey School, and I went to the Woodburn Center working with kids. But, you know, these are different type of kids. Hickey School is like a penal system, whereas the Woodburn is like more like a psychological type of environment, right? So I had saved some money, and I asked a buddy of mine, like a mentor, Dave, you know, what would be the next thing to do on a positive note to not be going back into the streets trying to hustle and all that kind of stuff. So he told me to buy this little house in East Baltimore on Monument Street. So that was my first investment property. So that's what led me into the real estate industry. And from there, you know, I eventually went to college, and I did a few positive things with my life. And I'm gonna say it because he always say this. Say something positive that I've done, right? I've sold a lot of properties. I've owned land, you know, horses. I went to college. I put him through college. So I changed my life, and at the end of the day, you know, it ain't really about me. It's about the mission that we on. So now what we doing is we basically trying to cut down on or figure out different ways or work with partnerships to cut down on the crime that our children are committing in our communities. He and I, we got a contract with the state right now where we go into the facilities, the juvenile facilities, the detention centers around the state of Maryland. And we go in and talk to these kids about, you know, recidivism, about, you know, cutting down on crime and the things that they doing that's leading them to prison. We're trying to keep them from going from juvenile facilities to doing real time in prison, you know, the best we can. We got like curriculums that we created he created a financial literacy curriculum, and I created a real estate curriculum for young people, right? So that they can learn the basics on real estate, learn how to manage their money, you know, banking, credit, things of that nature, right? And then, you know, teaching them about real estate. So I'm trying to get it where we can get into more of these institutions so that they can learn these curriculums, so when they come out, they will have something that they can take with them except just doing the time, because that's what a lot of them doing in these systems now. They almost look like young people the same way we looked in prison. They just a younger version of us in these institutions. They're not really doing nothing with their time, right, and educating themselves. You know, they just doing foolishness. But I said a lot, so y'all might want.
And another thing, because he don't never, I always got to be the one to kind of bring this up. I think another motivation for me outside of us as a dynamic duo, father and son, we got situations. We have a real life situation that hits home for me, because I have basically, I got two older brothers that is doing 35 and 40 years in prison. So it ain't like this ain't a close, or like we speaking and trying to just do this willy-nilly. No, this is something that's real life. And I think not only are we doing something for their mission, we're using their stories to prevent other stories. We got people around us that can we can use their knowledge and wisdom, and as well as their real life stories. That, like I said, our story is real, and that's another motivation as well. Because respectfully, I want everybody to grow up with their big brothers, and I want y'all to be big brothers and big sisters to y'all, you know, y'all siblings, because that's a big part of growth. That's a big part of development, and that's a big part of mentorship. Is just looking up to somebody, that they think is wise, because I looked up to them plenty of times, but they wasn't there, or I couldn't, you know, have that same mentorship that other people had with their siblings and they older brothers. So that's a big part of this mission as well, because we don't want to go down that lane. I don't think nobody that we've talked to in these juvenile systems is ready to do 50 years. I tell my father that all the time. I think they are kids that just need a second chance and somebody to listen and give them the proper resources to get to the place that they need to go. So yeah.
Yeah, that's right, man. I appreciate. I salute y'all. No doubt for what y'all doing. No doubt, man. That's hard, especially when it comes to black families, and especially when it comes to fatherhood and son.
Right.
That's one of the biggest, greatest divides of all ethnicities, like the black male father and the male son. And when I saw, when I was referred to these wonderful, amazing kings right here, that's what I like to address them. Because when I see a king, I like to address him as a king, and I like to greet him as a king when I see him, because it's so hard to find those jewels that recognize that light within themselves.
Right.
So when I heard their story and I saw their YouTube channel or their podcast they've done previously, I was taken aback, man, just by their bond, father and son, because it reminded me so much of what I aspire to have with my son. And my relationship with my son is really broken since I got out of prison. I've been in prison 23 years. I've been out 7. And when I went to prison, I was 20 years old. So when I got first, let me backtrack a little bit. I don't want to make it about me, but I'm going to just give an example of why these guys inspired me. Because when I was born, my father went to prison. He was gone 20 years. So my first 20 years was without my father. Soon as he got out, I went to prison for 70 years. So I done 23 years on that sentence. So I never even, all these years I waited to see my father. By the time I got out, by the time he got out, I went to prison. And then once I was in prison a couple years, he got murdered. So I never got a chance to even see what that's like from my father. So I just wanted to always be able to give that to my son. So the greatest tragedy for me to not be able to do that. It's like I can reach out and help and save all these other lives and all these other guys, but I can't find out how to fix the bond with my son. And it's like, especially when you're at a point when you feel like you've done everything you should do to do that. Because to me, this is me, an inexperienced father speaking. So of course this might not be politically correct, but I just think that in any relationship you have, whether it's a parent relationship, emotional relationship, whatever, is 100% at stake. You got 50 to do, they got 50 to do.
Right.
That's my philosophy. I think that in any relationship, in order for it to be healthy, it has to be done by both parties. It cannot be done. It can be, but it's going to be inauthentic and it has consequences from it. So I think just in a healthy way, I think that when you give your part or what you think is your part, sometimes it's okay to take the extra step if you got to. But how do you know when is it a cutoff point? I know sometimes when it comes to our children, we feel like, well, it shouldn't be no cutoff point. But at the same time, as a dignified man, you still have your boundaries and your morals and standards as well, right? So, and sometimes in order to teach, you got to teach with the discipline of certain ways and behaviors so that they can get the message. And so when I saw their story, man, I just figured once they're here, man, I'm gonna just soak up some game from them, or how they keep their bond alive, how they strengthen each other, and maybe I can take something from that to help repair mine with my son somewhere along the line.
That's definitely peace. What impressed me the most was when the brother started talking about the financial aspect of the curriculum that he put together. And I believe Brother Ray dealing with real estate. And he said he sold a few properties, some horses or something you said?
Yeah, he always want me to tell some of this things that I've done as a black man, because most black men don't have horses, right?
Right.
So I had some land right here in Baltimore County, about 53 acres, and throughout my life growing up in the city, I was in some of the horse stables, and I said when I got older, if I could afford to buy horses, so I had horses. So he liked me to share that, because he said that a lot of us as black men don't experience owning horses, right?
Right.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
He's just like, I just want to be so humble, man. That's just nature, so I appreciate it. And that's the one thing he was taught.
Yeah, I like the fact that it shows critical thinking. And a lot of times we're surrounded by people that don't think critical at all. They think so emotional, and everything is an emotional response. And they don't know how to live what they know. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to be adept at, because I have a lot of information. And when I run into brothers and I see that what they know, they have put it into reality, that's where it counts. A lot of times we'll encounter people and they'll have a lot of ideas, but it stay up here. So to see it in written form, or to see it manifested, or see it brought into reality. I knew that I had studied a lot. So when I was in prison, I wrote some books. And they're still available. I wrote a book called The Dark Side of God's Light, Part 1 and 2. And I wrote a poetry book called From the Pages of a Bleeding Heart, because I felt like, damn, if I died today or tomorrow, the world wouldn't even remember me. Because we live in a society where when you go to prison, a lot of people who on the outside world, they don't mention you anymore. And when they do mention you, it's not the accolades you may truly deserve. It's only when you come back out here that they're like, oh, you back. You know the saying, out of sight, out of mind. So when I look at paperwork, when I look at literature, when I look at formats and curriculums, to me, that's a way of solidifying yourself in the hearts and in the minds of the people. So if you do pass away, because we all got to go one day, your legacy lives on. I never met Malcolm X personally, but through his words that he wrote, I met him. So I'm explaining to the people now, if you never get a chance to meet the brother, through his work, you can know Chaauncey, you can know Brother Ray through their work. And financially, black people have not mastered financial literacy to the point where we have become masters at that. And so when I see real estate curriculums, when I hear about the horses, when I hear about all of these things, it's also grooming, because I think of rites of passage. When I seen the horses, my mind began to visualize just a program for juveniles to take them horseback riding, to teach them how to groom a horse, how to form that relationship with nature, and get them out of the hood and out of that mentality. And a lot of times, this is why, and I'm gonna pass the mic on this. A lot of times, brothers with knowledge be under so much pressure, because it's like we know we have the idea, but it's so hard to get people on board with the idea because everybody else is going in a different direction. and everybody else have their own personal agenda that doesn't complement where you are going. And so you may help the person all you want. They got a total different agenda. Ain't got nothing to do with what you doing. And so we got to get on one accord, one agenda to make this a reality. But prison shouldn't even be that rite of passage anymore. Their rite of passage would be damn financial literacy. The horses, the animals, nature, knowing how to fish. Brother Knowledge always say that if they stop selling black people everything, we will be doomed. We don't know how to survive. We don't know how to live in the woods.
Right.
We don't know how to get water from the streams and the valleys if we had to. We don't even know how to fish, some of us no more. You know what I'm saying? So
I was gonna piggyback on that because it's crazy. I just watched a video today actually about a rapper. He was explaining how he's real close with like the Arabs and Asian guys that's in his community. That when they came over here with nothing. They came over here with no resources, no nothing. But now they millionaires in y'all communities because they know how to go. They know how to come together, save some money, put a store together, sell all the things that y'all want, that y'all in y'all community become millionaires and pass it on to their families, and now they creating legacy. And that's something that in the black community I don't know where the disconnect is, but maybe we can help with this, stuff like this.
Yeah, we was just talking about that last night at Brother Lakhem group, and just about how we don't, when it comes to supporting and elevating and lifting each other up.
Right.
What is it in us that feels like I don't want you to get ahead of me? It's like I'm gonna be the gatekeeper. It's like I'm the first one to figure it out. So I want to be the one. It's like what is missing in us that make us feel like we have to do that to feel like I'm better than you? Or it's like it's filling a void by external things. It's like when you hollow inside, you look for validation from external forces. You try to fill it up with things, and it's like so many of us are so hollow inside that we think it takes things to validate our existence.
Right.
And this is why the value of life is not appreciated, because they don't see the value. They don't think life has value, and that's the most dangerous part, because we got to reshape that view and that perspective, because they don't see value. We got to teach them what value is, just like all those components y'all just named. That's teaching value, teaching how to love life, and just appreciate the simplest things of life. You know what I'm saying? From just squashing a bug, like just teaching the principle of how everything has a connection. And when you start to see that everything is interconnected, you appreciate everything, every relationship, everybody that come in your influence, with either good or bad, is all teaching lessons. So that's the jewel, but it's like the mission is that how do we get the attention to shape the perspective? And we are collectively doing it. We are waking up. It's like this consciousness, this phase that we're going, this information phase and chase that we're on is so necessary and so needed. And it's like it's going to slowly replace rap. It's going to slowly replace hip hop, because we're going to start having attention. Now, one time they had attention because they got the microphone and they had the TV.
Right.
But now we got the TV. We got the same access they had now. So now people waking up to that. And they said, damn, well, we got some shit to offer too. People can see me. Just click on there and they can see me. What? So now people are back at the drawing board. And that's the most important part, because now we got these opportunities to reach, but we got to protect it, because, cats pearls before swine. And a lot of times the wrong people can get the mic, and they can get the influence, and they can pass the darkness before you can pass the light.
Right.
And that's what we try to keep away from. But brother Ray, it's on you. Good wait to get
Yes, I'm consuming because it's a lot that we could touch on, right? Like you had mentioned the relationship with my son and your son, and it just made me reflect on, we started out young. It was him and a couple of his little cousins, and when they were young, I used to take them like four-wheel and horseback riding and stuff like that. So I would engage with them when I could. I was making money or whatever, doing my thing back then. But I would always try to get them out of the city when I could, do different things with them to expose them. At young ages, they've been to other countries and stuff like that. And I'm just reflecting because I hear what they say, right? But one of the things that kind of touched me when you're talking about your son, and it bothers me because, the disconnect. And, once they get to a certain age, they become men or young men, right? And they feel like pretty much they know it all, so it ain't a lot you can tell them. But what I would say to you as my brother is just lead by example, because ultimately, you know, God got him, right? And this is one of the things that, you know, I say to us, and that is, when we came up, most of the houses you were going to, there was a Bible somewhere sitting on the stand, right? And you had some sense of spirituality, whether you Muslim or Christian or whatever it is, right? I think one of the big things now is, like you said, you know, we don't work from the inside out. Our spirit's not right. We don't have our minds right because we on Percocets, weed, dope, coke, whatever, right? And this is the stuff that they put in our communities, and we not even sharp enough to see how they fill our communities with all these things to destroy us. They give us the guns, they give us all the drugs, and we kill each other, right? So I say that to say this, when you was talking about that, it's a task. It's a real task to, first of all, get these young people to hear you out and respect you and listen to you. So for me, I said, well, I gotta first start with me, right? So the energy that I give off, you know, the way I take care of myself, you know, they look at you, say you physically strong, you mentally strong, you got your spirit right. We gotta start with that, because a lot of them don't have that, right? And then what I find now is, to be honest, a lot of these young people scared to learn. When you talk about writing a book or doing curriculum, right? They cool to learn how to use the scale, how to go, you know, do all that kind of stuff, right? But a lot of them won't say themselves as intelligent as we are, right? When the last time have you read a book? Right? When the last time have you done something constructive? Right? So it's easy, as we know, it's easier to gear towards some negativity, right? We can pull you, say, let's go rob this, let's go shoot that. They run with that, right? But when it comes to educating yourself, getting to the next level, right? It's a challenge to get them to even see that. Right? Because I tell them all the time when I go in the joints, I'm saying, man, I see a bunch of intelligent black men right here, because that's most of us. Not to say it ain't no white or brown, right? But 99% is us. Right? And I tell them that all the time. Like, I mean, y'all, our future, like he just said. Then our future is real bleak. Right? With the mindset that they got. So my thing is, I try to say to them that if you don't change your mindset or your way of thinking, it's nothing but destruction. That's what we see. Realistic, the gangs, right?
All destruction.
Yeah, I got two, like he said, one of them been in 20 years. Y'all might even know him. Right? Yeah, Charlie been in 20 years. He's still up Cumberland.
Oh, Charlie Brown?
Yeah.
I asked
yeah, that's
you,
my
was
boy.
that boo,
Oh, yeah,
remember?
you did ask me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, see how small the world is? He been in 20.
Yeah.
I just talked to him a few days ago, and I'm trying to reach the lady in Cumberland. I emailed her because they trying to work on some things inside the institution.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna share this story real quick to the listeners. He in the joint. He been in 20 years, and he said to me the other day, if I can share this story, it's a 19-year-old kid in there with him that he copped out to 5 life sentences.
Wow.
So I say, how you cop out to 5 life sentences? That sound like some movie shit. Like, what you mean?
Right.
But because of the gang activity, right, and I guess the
Go ahead.
oh, I'm good.
Yeah, go ahead.
The murders that happen from one side to the other, like, you know how they say, you know, they shooting ops back and forth. So you might have shot 3 on that side,
Right.
and 2 or 3 on that side or whatever, right? So he ended up, you know, that's what he told me. He said, man, that sounded unreal to me, right? So I always try to add to my story, along with all that stuff that I was saying earlier, man. I've been shot 9 times. So that's what the streets rewarded me with, besides prison.
Yeah.
You know, I've been shot in my face, you know, all throughout my body, and wore colostomy bag, the whole 9 yards, with being in the street. So, you know, I tell them, younger people, a lot of times, right, if there's something else besides prison and death that you're going to get from being in the streets, tell me what it is.
Right, no doubt.
Please tell me what it
No
is,
doubt.
because that's
If
all
there
I
is
know,
anything.
right?
Right.
You know, the reality. So when I be in there with them, you know, my whole story is based on whatever it takes me to share with y'all to keep you out of them institutions and keep you from wanting to kill each other.
Right.
Because 9 out of 10, you know, the ones that we be killing look just like us,
Just like us.
Every time.
right? So, you know, this whole this era of time now, the things that they done accepted as the norm, it's an effed up norm, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, this terrible, the state that we in, man.
Yes, it is, man. The loss of value, man. Loss of value.
No
value.
morals, no principles,
Yeah.
ain't no values.
Ain't none.
No respect for the elders,
And
no
it starts at
kids.
home. It starts
Look,
at home.
when we grew up, it was a code. No women, no children.
No
if you in
doubt.
the streets and you do what you do,
Right.
right? Man, that don't exist. That don't exist. If
Right.
the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old in the mix, the shot's gonna get fired.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
The mother, the grandmother there, the shot's getting fired.
Right.
Right? It ain't none of that no more, right?
Right.
So that's one of the big things that make me really, really wanna fight to keep us out of that and get us out of that mindset. So
Right.
if me and him being able to go in these institutions or go around this country, you know, get some help and we partner up with people
Right.
that got the same
No
mindset,
doubt.
I'm in.
Absolutely.
I'm in. And he's a perfect example to have him with me, right? To say this what I'm really doing for real. Like,
No doubt.
yeah, we don't want to see too many more child.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And by the way, my brother over here ain't mentioned at that time he done did, so I want to hear. Yeah, I want y'all to hear this because these are the type of brothers I really be talking about when I come see y'all. Y'all get
I ain't
y'all
gonna
get
lie,
to
that's
see them in
right.
real life.
That's
You
right.
hear me?
Y'all would be two great examples because we want to have people like that.
Right.
About you.
Clark
can
said,
you-
shout out to the
can-
gods.
Yeah, shout out for real. But can you please, can he share with them?
Absolutely.
Come on, man, tell these people, these kids for real, just some of your story for real, please,
Yeah,
bro.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm extra popular. I thought everybody already knew, but for the sake,
Tell them,
for the sake of the good brother,
man.
And our young people.
we
That's
gonna. Yeah, I did 31 years. I had life plus 45 years. I went to prison when I was 20, and I have only been home 2 years. I've only been out 2 years.
Like,
31.
31 years straight. I'm not talking about coming home and going back in on the installment plan that a lot of guys do. You know, a lot of guys, they'll come home and they'll come back in like it's checking in and out of a hotel. I did 31 straight, and for those that have never been in prison, or for those who have had them small bids where it didn't give you the spanking that you needed, it didn't give you the wake-up call that you needed. I had 31 years of pure hell because prison was really prison when I went in there. Prison was all the killers. We were all trapped in one prison. None of us thought we ever were getting out. And so we carried that energy, that stigma. It was on us. That was just written all over everything that we done. We lived lives of desperation, man. We was doing things that the average person wouldn't resort to because we thought we had no other recourse but to die in jail or come home in a wheelchair or come home not looking like we look, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not being in the condition that we are in. And a lot of times I want the young brothers to understand this. When the judge say you have a life sentence, he really sentenced you to death. They're using the misnomer of the word life. But life in prison means it is a death sentence, literally. I actually know Charlie Brown. I know his son. If you mention me to him, he's gonna be like, Lakhem is one of the brothers that taught me. And Charlie Brown's a good dude, militant brother. He works out a lot, and he's a close friend of mine. In fact, somebody just called me the other day saying that he want my number. And I asked Brother Knowledge, I said, man, what booby is that? Is that Charlie Brown's father? And he said, I don't know, I ain't sure. But that got cleared up today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, your son, he's definitely, you know, one of my partners, man. And we go way back, and he'll tell you out of his own mouth, like, man, one of them brothers, man, when he need us, he dropped that jewel on us, man. He give it to us. And that's what I'm known for. It's like I have a past that is probably horrible to some people, but I also have a transformative side, and I've been doing it for so long that some people only know me for that. Like some people, if you mention anything I've done in the past as far as criminal or violent, they may not even believe it. They might be like, no, not lie. Man, lie, I had them brothers in there, man. He had us reading books, he had us studying, had us reading law. Like, no, yo, you can get that back. I gave mine back. And I think a lot of times we glorify the wrong shit. We'll talk about how we were sentenced, and we'll make it seem like that is something that gives us honor. we'll be in there having a trading war stories, as Pac said. Well, shit, you got 40, I got 140. Then you got somebody else, he'd come out there, he the oldest motherfucker.
Shut
on
your
the
dumb
team.
ass up. I got triple line of
Right,
60.
right. Oh, go ahead, motherfucker. Shit, I got quadruple life in 70 years. I gotta die first and then come back and finish the bit. You ain't got no time. When I'm telling y'all, if you miss one day out of your life in prison, that is enough. You know what I'm saying? If you miss one day out of your life in prison, that is enough, especially if you went through that turmoil and you didn't grab hold of what was meant for you to learn by going through that. It's a lot of things that I'm totally upset with. When I first was released, they was like, I'm telling you, you're going to get a culture shock. Things change. You know what I said to my daughter? People have changed, not things. Objects don't change. They are handled. Things are handled by people. The quality of people are totally different. Like our value of friendship, our value of brotherhood, our value of camaraderie, all that is removed. Somebody made it cool to not be supportive of your friend. Somebody made it cool to not support your woman. Somebody made it cool for the woman not to support you after you supported her. Somebody made it cool to use people who mean you good and you mean them no good at all. And so this has become the norm, and now we got to come out and reverse it. And it's like, man, knowledge always taught. We only want to relive the past. We want to make it better than even it used to be. And that's our goal, to make it better than what it used to be. And I've been through it all. I've been shot. The police shot me during this case. I've been in knife fights. I've been stabbed. I almost lost my life on numerous occasions, because when you're in those kind of environments, you don't run into guys that are not killers also. You know what I'm saying? And out here it's different. There's no guns in prison. And the police not going to step in the middle of a knife fight. They going to come with the mace and bluff with it and spray it, you know, and all that. But you have to really get down in there. And a lot of people, they're not really made for that kind of structure. You have guys that was raping guys and all that. You know what I'm saying? And I always say prison was no place, it's not a jungle for weak lions. And when I was in prison, my mother died while I was in prison. All of my brothers been murdered while I was in prison. My brothers that exist now are not my full-blooded brothers. All of my brothers been murdered by gun violence while I was in prison. So how I handle the loss, and this has nullified my feelings or made them dull. How I handle the loss of things is different from everybody else. And I'm just gaining that back, that emotional side that we have when we feel connected to people, because the environment that I was in when I lost them, I couldn't really show that kind of emotion. Although I held it in, I did it within, and I slept in dormitories most of my bed. So I wasn't going to be walking around the dorm crying and, you know what I mean, all that. You know what I mean? But I handled it the way that I thought was best. And now that I am home, I'm making this readjustment. But what I am afraid of the most is that I am going to become like what I see. That is what I safeguard against. My experience teaches me this. Yeah, we know they dumping all the guns in the hood. Yeah, we know they dumping all the drugs in the hood. Yeah, we know they doing this. But you don't have to say yeah.
That's right.
I don't get high. My friends can get high. I can have a friend who I like for a whole nother reason. He can pop 1,000 pills. That don't mean I gotta say yeah. And I think that's the youth need, that kind of strength. You don't have to disown the person as your friend, but you just have to have enough strength to say, I don't need that.
I don't need that part.
I need my
I'm saying hello, my good
mind
brothers.
active.
I'm
What's
saying
up,
hello,
Doc?
good brothers.
Salute, keep your head up, fam.
Peace. And so that's my message. That's what I'm back for. You know what I'm saying? That's why I created Heal. That's why I merged Heal with the Brothers Group Uncommon Dialogue, so our message could be a giving back. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot more that we got coming. The world just don't know yet. But we always in the think tank. We always coming up with ideas because we both believe that we have a creative side. And what you do as an occupation may not cater to your creativity.
No.
And so some people live lives unfulfilled because what they have to do to make money doesn't complement the creative side that the creator put in you. And so people be out here like, damn, I haven't found my way yet. And other people be like, but you making good money. He don't know you feel unfulfilled because your creative side has yet to be fed and blossom and grow into what you know you supposed to be creatively. And that's our message to the youth, to teach them that duality. Yeah, make money, get a job, you know what I'm saying, be productive, but at the same time, whatever talent you have, whatever creative side you have, get it out there, because that's what the world is going to remember you by. And that's my message.
Indeed, that was deep. That was powerful.
For sure.
It's deep.
For sure.
Brother Ray.
Man, I mean, I'm just taking in what the brother was saying. Like, you know, one of the things I just would like to remind the young people or us in general, right? Time is something you can't get back. So, you know, what you do with your time, as he was saying a little while ago, you know, make it valuable because all of us gonna check out one day. You know, so this brother, I'm still sitting here like 31 and slim. That's a lot of time to be away, right? You know, and he done pretty much dealt with it and transitioning in a way where it seemed like he ain't really missed a beat because he out here on it, right? But for y'all that had the second chances or had those opportunities, don't have that story. You don't have to have that same story where you come in the shed saying like, I lost this much time out of my life. Be productive now while we can. That's what I would say, you know, to us in general. And the sad thing is, with what we trying to do, we don't really get the support that we need, right? To back us, more brothers like y'all, right? And these businesses and different entities that can support us, the big companies, I'm gonna say it like I mean, the Amazons and Kaiser Permanente, University of Maryland, John Hopkins, you know, all of these, the Baltimore City, the state of Maryland, right? That we may need clinical help, right? For some of these people that you working with, right?
Right.
You may need space, you know, to do your meetings and different things of that nature, right? You may need sponsorship, Amazon, right?
Big people for the space.
Right, to give stuff to kids, right? So we created a thing we call a gamification. I'm not gonna forget this time. Shout out to my mentor, man, Backpack Jeff, because if it wasn't for Jeff, right, you know, a lot of the things that I learned from him, you know, I probably wouldn't be in the positions that I'm in because he a motivational speaking guy. He worked with kids in Title I schools and all that kind of stuff. And he not a gatekeeper, as you said, right? Because I was trying to learn from some of the big guys, the motivational speakers, and they want $4,000 or $5,000 to teach you. And the brother said, "Come on to my site, and I'm gonna teach you how to do this without, you know, having to spend all that kind of money because I couldn't afford it, right?" So long story short, I just want to say that to him because, you know, he got us in what's the Cheltenham, and basically he helped us with getting the contract with the state, right? But yeah, so whether it be our program, y'all program, we need that support. They need the support.
Absolutely.
Whatever it is you can provide, whether, you know, sometimes you can't
Can I
support
write that on the
financially.
wall while he's saying it? Can I? I
I'm
want to
sorry.
just be able to write it. I want you to say it again so I can write it so everybody can.
Yeah,
Because I'm telling you, the small people gets
Yeah, no
nothing.
doubt.
We
Yeah,
gets
but
nothing.
see, but if you come on here and you talk about some crazy
Yeah,
foolishness, right?
They with it.
Yeah,
they
I
be
probably had
lined
people
up.
beating my
They
door
be
there.
sharing it.
yeah. So that's
Every
That's
day.
the problem. It's like how to.
And that bothers
just
me.
It bothers me too, because it's like we know what the problem is, but nobody want to fix it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
It's
when
like
you go the route to
nobody
fix it, and everybody look at me like,
The
"D
skirt,
always got to
yeah,
run her
yeah.
mouth."
They
No,
put
I'm
no
trying to give you the
blocks
real, sis. Pull your
Right.
skirt down, open your mouth up. Not like that,
Right.
but say something better than that.
But then it's like, you know, just to think, just from a fourth dimension aspect, and I'm gonna explain what I'm talking about when I say fourth dimension. Meaning that a lot of stuff that happens with us and to us and in our environments is so beyond the level of our comprehension.
Of our comprehension.
So since emotions a lot of times attached to our choices, we never get a logical conclusion on our own, right? Because we so emotionally driven. For example,
Get them surgically removed.
and I can't help but to keep talking about this, and that's just a part of what I
Yeah.
represent. Even dealing with this crime, and with these troops coming in,
Yeah.
in these different
Ah.
cities. And just to speak on that real quick, right? This is the paradox that is, right? Because I'm watching our people hatred for Trump so much that they'll rather ignore the 0 murders in DC, right? Because it's like with the work we do, we about stopping violence by all means necessary, right? If the presence of them motherfuckers coming in gonna make them niggas put them guns down, send them presents in there. That's my take, right? They ain't listening to no motherfucking body else. These programs
If that's what
good,
it's
but
doing.
lives being lost in the process. And we can't afford to be losing them. We 13% of the population, right? And we responsible for 50% of the murders. That's a travesty.
That's crazy.
Because it's on each other. So whatever it takes to stop that
Do
shit,
it.
I'm with it.
Do
I'm
it.
a taxpayer now. I ain't in the street. I ain't got nothing to duck from and to hide from.
Right, right.
That's my take. But it's bigger than that because it's like under the fourth dimension, what I was speaking about, because look at all the money that's tied to violence.
Right.
All these 501(c)(3)s.
So look how many things can't be done because that money got
programs
spent
that's
back
getting
into the.
money, that our people are psychologically being tricked to sponsor and worship the money that they're getting over the value of the lives of our people.
You can get your kids and
Right.
say, "Come on, sit down, stop."
I mean, it's so much bigger than that because
I'm
they
just
think
saying,
they're
like,
for cars.
begin there.
Yeah, but it's about understanding that you're being a tool for the system to perpetuate your own people's demise, all for something called this. They'll turn their eggs up. Look, all the 501(c)(3)s, all the nonprofits, all these groups that's getting money for the prevent crime or the campaign against crime. They benefiting. So if this crime stops, the money goes. That's the paradox. That's the fourth dimension that we don't realize. So when they say money is the root of all evil, if it ain't handled right, that's what it means.
That's what it
money
means.
is your God, and it's illusion. It don't even exist. Ain't no gold backing money, so it's really illusion. The money only is valuable as the belief and trust that we have in it, because it don't nothing to back it.
Right.
It used to be gold backing it, ain't nothing backing it. So where's the value? And we putting each other's lives on the line
For
about this, and it don't even exist. So it's like we trapped in this this matrix. We gotta escape the matrix, and the only way to escape the matrix is to teach value and to instill value. I gotta be able to show you how to see value in you. Because if I don't show you how to see value in me, you ain't gonna see value in somebody that might be close to me and bring that shit to them. So it's like whenever we coming across the less value, we gotta find a way to give value.
Right.
You know, you ain't gotta compromise your journey in the process,
Damn.
but you can drop your jewel. Your
Right.
responsibility, especially
Drop a
us
jewel in
that
it.
should know better, to find a way to drop a jewel without being affected by it. You know
Warren
what I
said,
mean?
"Well, you always try and prove a great point."
Who said that?
Warren,
Oh yeah, that's right. You know.
it's really needed. It's really
Yeah,
needed
no
for the
doubt.
soul.
Yeah.
I like that fourth dimension
Yeah.
on the greed because a lot of times we gotta understand that money is made off of crime. So
Absolutely.
do the powers that be really wanna stop it?
Right.
No. That is where the brother was going at with it. You gotta look at car alarms, burglar alarms, ring doorbells, cameras everywhere.
Judges, police, COs, correctional officers, all
Everybody
of them
get paid
have a
from
job.
the money.
All
Crime.
because they created the narrative that you're unsafe. Crime is about to touch you, so let us instill this and buy this, buy it. We already understand.
buy
Then they get
almost anything.
40,000 per prisoner. The 13th Amendment says slavery is still legal as long as you've been duly convicted of a crime. So they don't ever want your black ass to stop going to jail because that makes them lose money. So while we on one hand say, yeah, we home now, we putting it in, we want y'all to go this way, we're actually a problem to them. So we got to move a certain kind of way because really the unseen hand that's manipulating both sides is like, okay, y'all niggas want to stop him from going to jail? Yeah, knock him off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They even put something out there, and it sounds conspiratorial, but we got to think like that because of what all our leaders been
Because
through.
everything liable to happen. What?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And then on the flip side, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, the 501c3s, they're not going to give you a real backing with money and finances to rid your community of the things that bring it down. They're going to act like they are. I don't know how many boardroom meetings I done sat in and they're like, well, you know, we ain't got the funding for that. We ain't got the funding for that. But we're going to throw the kids a cookout and get them a bunch of baseball gloves and shit. And, you know what I'm saying? And so we have to watch out for that because now they're feeding them with the wind. You know what I'm saying? With hopes and false dreams and like, yeah, all the children was out there playing and this, that, and the other. It's something under that where that money should be going really to, let me tell you who you really are. Let me instill in you the value that my granddad gave me. Let me tell you who Marcus Garvey is without you having to hear about 90 other people who don't look like you first. And then they give you Garvey last.
Right.
Why they don't push that on the forefront of the curriculum? Because that is empowering to you.
Right.
Damn, what Garvey did what? He had the Black Star, now it's economic empowerment. Because now you're not only learning about him, you're learning about what the man done.
Right.
The steps that he took. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's something that we should never overlook whenever we are around people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have friends. All of my close friends are people I truly admire. I don't make the mistake of having, and I did that in the past. I vowed to never do that again. All of my close friends are people I can look at and be like, if I die today or tomorrow, he can take the name of my group and keep it going, and it would run the same way that it's running now or better. And that's what we have to do. We have to, our personal cipher have to be equipped with people who we admire, because if we had that glitch in our matrix where we slip, we got to be able to look at our brother like, nah, come on, bang, come on, bang. Sometimes we make the mistake and invite people in our personal circle because we like them. And they may not have none of the qualities to really help us elevate to the next level. The only thing we can say is, I like them. What?
Bro,
You
seem
know how many
cool.
people I like but can't run the corporation if you die or pass away? Everything you built gonna be ruined because you got somebody you like in the position as opposed to somebody who been groomed, who been nurtured, who been fed, who understand the mission. And that's what we gotta do. We gotta feed each other. When you sit around your brother and he say something, and you know some shit, and he say something, you're like, God damn, you fucked me up, but that was heavy. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of people you want to be around. Because you know your shit. So when you sitting around other people that know they shit, it's like, damn, this the real commission that the mob was talking about. This the big tank thinkers that everybody talking about, because all you got to do is put an idea out there, a powerful one, and your circle gonna start to build on that shit. You can walk out that room like, damn, I had one idea. Now I got the material to make it manifest. I got the finances to make it manifest. We don't know what resources we're going to come in contact with when we meet other good people. And a lot of people, they don't bring that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with them because they don't. I'm saying become a person of substance. So if it's even your dialogue, I know some people, they have a lot of intellectual property. They don't own shit. But if you sit down with them, you'll be like, damn. You'll be like, this nigga just dropped something on me. I'm going to go in this next circle and use everything he just said. And you don't know the value of it yet until you spit it and it worked. You're like, damn, he don't even know what he got. He's sitting on a gold mine. And so we got to instill that willpower, that determination, because we all get discouraged. Because the opposition against us, that gravitational pull to try to discourage us, like, man, nah, if I was y'all, I wouldn't do that. They ain't ready for that. And, man, nobody give a fuck, but they ain't ready. We wasn't ready to go to jail. The judge wasn't trying to hear that shit. He ain't say, no, you young, you grew up in the hood. He ain't pay none of that shit no mind.
Definitely want to job.
And so we can't be merciful when it's time to drop our jewel and stand our brothers back up, because we put a lot of energy into doing what was the left-hand path. Now we got to put that same energy and putting them on the right-hand path and enlightening and standing them up, because I truly believe this, right? And, you know, sometimes when people say things, we tend to take the brutal side of it. right? I think it was Machiavelli. He said that God favors the strong. He said because everywhere we look around the world, the weak are ruled by the strong. But when I got spiritualized in my thinking, I was like, the strong don't always mean brute force. It don't always mean a show of force. Like I can step on all you niggas.
Strength.
The strong mean his discipline. The strong mean his determined mind. The strong mean his knowledge and how he applies it, and his love for what he do, and his passion for what he do.
Yeah.
You ever, Malcolm X said this about Elijah Muhammad. He said he was the first man I ever feared. He said, I didn't fear him like a person that has a gun. He said, I feared him like a person that has the power, the light of the sun. And that shit sound poetic, and really, I was like, well, what the fuck that mean? You know, when you're young, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is he talking about? But as I picked it apart, I was like, dang. When you look at the magnificence and the brilliance of the sun and its magnitude and what it does, it holds all the 9 planets in orbit. It makes them rotate on their axis. It warms them. It brings up the life out of the planet. It nurtures the soil, all of that. It brings warmth. It brings heat. It brings seasonal changes. And then you think, damn, that's just one sun working all these degrees. And that's how we got to be. We got to instill the fear in them. I don't even want to go that way no more. I'm scared I'm going to be less than what I really am.
Yeah.
That's the kind of fear they should have. Like, I don't want them to be less than they are. I want you to be more than what I am. All true teachers, they produce a student that outshines them and they have no problem with it. They sit back and be like, damn, look at my son. He taking it to the next level. The race, Brother Knowledge drew the analogy, man, when I pass you the baton, you better take it and run.
Yes.
Ain't no sense you getting the baton and you running slower than I was with it. You get the baton, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna pass it on this. Bruce Lee had one teacher his whole life, Yip Man. He had one teacher and he taught him Wing Chun, and Wing Chun was started by a woman. A lot of people don't know that. He saw no other master outside of him. Then after he felt like he mastered that degree, he invented his own style, Jeet Kune Do, which means the way of the intercepting fist. No martial artist have I seen yet has impressed me the way he has. He invented the 1-inch punch, all of that. Like his creative side and his spiritual side to martial arts was even deeper than that. And I think that's what we're here to do. All you need is one good teacher and take it, man, and surpass him. Take it to the next level. Because we ain't out here by chance. What are the odds of all of these lifers coming home all at once?
At the same time.
You ain't never seen that in the annals of history. And since we are here, we might as well make the most of it. Like Brother Knowledge said, the shit you in the game, you might as well play it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's definitely heavy discussion, heavy bills, time.
Jesus gotta
As
speak,
the
Muhammad.
Elo always says, Allah's way of keeping all things from happening at once.
No doubt.
That was an interesting discussion, man. We on the last couple minutes of the podcast. I hope the viewers got enjoyed, got some insight, and took something away from it that they can add into their
Tracy, he
repertoire
did.
to become a better person pushing forward. If you ain't ready to be a better person, at least pass the jewel to somebody that need it. And then when you need it, then you might can borrow it back from them. That's the way we gotta think. But before we depart, I want to ask the brothers, is there anything that they wanted to say before we close out, or ask, question about, or anything?
Yeah, man. I was just taking in a lot. One thing I'm just going to remind us, if we haven't seen this, is the president actually just signed a bill for young people, juveniles, to be charged as adults with some of these crimes that they're committing. So they're going to try to send them to prison now. So some of these crimes. And then there's another bill that they're talking about in D.C. I read today, particularly, where if you commit a murder, they trying to give you the death penalty. So, y'all talked about systematically how crime pays, but it don't pay for us. It pays for a lot of other entities, man, from the bullets to the gun, as you said, to the police officer, to the ambulance driver to the bail bondsman to the institution. They made a lot of money off my brother over here being in 30 years, but when they put y'all in there, right, the judges, state's attorneys, the lawyers, right, so it's a lot of people that get paid in that process, and all we get is time, right, so just, I just want to point that out, because I know a lot of us don't even look at it that way. Like, there's a lot of people throughout those steps that make money. When you shoot your gun, it's the person that get paid for them bullets. You follow what I'm saying? Right, and the last thing I would say is, learn your history, man, because the saying is, if we don't know our history, we doomed to repeat it, right? So we lived through slavery, we lived through a lot of abuse, and some of that stuff is still going on today. If you look at the institution now, like I said earlier, right, most of the prisons is full of us, right? So it's just a legal way that they put it now. They don't call us slaves no more, they call us inmates in prisons, right? But they still, treating us the same, right? Whether it's in the institutions or on the streets now. So we gotta fight for our lives, either way you slice it. As a black man, I can speak for us, right? I can't speak for nobody else. But I know the treatment that we get when we gonna get pulled over by the police, right? I know what that look like. I know what that feel like, right? So, I really appreciate y'all having us again, man. But the brother said a little while ago, if you in a room and you the smartest one in the room, you need to find another room to be in. Right, I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man.
Yeah, that was powerful, bro.
Bro, we appreciate
Brother
it.
Chaauncey.
Oh man, like Pop said, I appreciate y'all for having this, man. My only comment is something that his mother, my grandmother, always tell me, and shout out to my moms too, man. Be a leader, don't be a follower, but the best leaders know when to follow. So sometimes when you got people and resources in front of you, it's okay, and that's I want to piggyback on that too earlier. It's a lack of love and trust inside of these families now that we need to revert that. So just know you got genuine people here, man. Y'all can follow us at Raymond Roman Official _ and C Roman XVII. We also got our website coming up. It's under construction. It should be done in the next week or so at jcppservices.org, and y'all can email us at jcppservices@gmail.com right now. So other than that, man, I really appreciate y'all. I really do.
Definitely impressive, man. No doubt. People out there, if you don't want to go to jail, you don't want life, you don't want death penalty, don't kill nobody. It's simple. The shit ain't hard. We need some hardcore ass principles to make these motherfuckers get it.
Right.
That shit gotta be a deterrent. I'm with it. Death penalty. Fuck yeah. At least you got a heads up about it. You got a chance to not premeditate the shit. You got some shit to think about moving forward. Yeah. It's only a trick when you don't know that's what you're gonna get.
Right.
And then you get it.
Right.
If you know that's what's down the line and you still go down
Don't go down the line.
I feel sorry for you. If you know you don't want to go to jail, you can't handle jail, stop selling dope. Stop doing shit that's gonna send you to fucking jail. When is jail ain't been become a part of the game? If you gonna commit crime, jail is a part of it.
Yes.
So why you don't want to go to jail? You
1 + 1 does not equal
you don't
jello.
like jail, don't
You
commit
can't
this
finesse
shit.
the system, man.
Yeah.
They gonna start telling it.
Indeed.
Get out of here.
Help
yourself, right?
In closing, man, I just want to honor my brothers, man. Like I say, man, I appreciate the frequency that they vibrating on, and I believe they going to something big. And I don't believe in coincidence or accidents. So brother knowledge that brought y'all to us, then it's on from here. We're going to exchange information. We letting the world know this is not a conversation piece. This is something that we're going to capitalize off of psychologically, mentally, physically, and of course, if we can, financially. You know what I'm saying? We're going to exchange information. Brothers, we're going to support what they doing, and the people that support us support what they doing, and the people that support them support what we are doing. That's how that works. That's how we win. We gotta support what we're doing, man. It can't just be a conversation piece.
Just talking
and then
about
we get
it.
up and then roll
does
out,
nothing.
and then we forget everything we just said to the world. That's hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? That's the highest form of being a hypocrite, man. And we ain't into that. That's a suit or outfit that don't fit us. We don't look good in that outfit, so we don't try to wear that one. You know what I mean? And to the world, peace and love, maintain and elevate, and definitely teach the children. And protect our women, man. Our black women coming up missing, man, in some peculiar circumstances, man, around different states. And I want my black women to stop putting yourself in predicaments where you by yourself at night and you don't have no protection. I know you over masculinated at this point. But they got smelling sauce on these cloths.
And a lot of times it's not
a
on
lot
purpose.
Going on.
But sis,
Stop looking like you $1 million if you ain't got $1 million.
Please.
They will do
They will
something
rag
to you
do
thinking
you win
got
thinking
it.
you got $1 million?
So don't trick
Yes.
yourself like that. And on that, we're gonna close out.
Right.
Salute.
Salute. Peace.
Good night.